Man, I'll be glad when the temperature normalizes. It's going to be 79 or 80 Saturday. And it was 88 degrees just a couple of days ago. Now it's, about 44 degrees in here. I got 2 heaters on. Alrighty. And I'm feeling this COVID, my God, I tell you what, it's just bizarre. I felt a little better yesterday, and I feel a little worse today. It's just weird. Weird. Anyway, my taste and smell are slowly coming back, so that's a plus. All right, let's get this. I'm going to put this on my router, round these handles off, and go to hand sanding this. So I'll show you what it looks like in 2 seconds. All right, now we put this on the bandsaw, knock them sides off of it, and then it's all hand sanding from there. All right, we're getting there. I'm fixing to flip it over and do the other side. All right. Well, let's do a little sanding, shall we? You like the hands? I could be a letter turner, or like one of them game shows, one of those, a new car. Yeah, okay. Too much medicine. Okay, so I guess I can admit this. That new country song of Beyonce's, I tried my hardest not to like it, but damn it, I like it. It's a catchy tune. This ain't Texas, ain't no holding. See, once you get it in your head, it's impossible not to sing along. Damn you, Beyonce! So what I'm doing right now is sanding the vertical lines out. That's the last thing on my belt. I put it over here on my bandsaw, and I cut the nubs off that I've created with my router, and then I go to my 2x48 with some 60 grit on it, and I sand it smooth, and then I come over to my 120 grit 1x48, and then try to sand most of those marks out. Now I do the rest by hand, and it's coming along good. Looks pretty good. And I'm having to come up with this little doohickey here to sand on because my knife vise is right here and it won't hold this. But it's all working out just fine. So I guess I could talk about my hospital experience. The last time I was in the hospital, to have, not this time, but the time before that, when they disconnected me, I had been so sick for so long that on one hand I thought I was probably going to die, and on the other hand I was hoping I would die. I was so tired of being sick. And then it took 17 days of being in the hospital to get well enough for them to let me out, and my God, the pain. I can't even describe it. It was excruciating. Just moving was painful. Going to the bathroom, standing up to pee, everything hurt. And but I gotta tell you, the medical care, the people that were involved, the nurses, every single one of them. Well, there was one lady I called Tank. She was a heartless person and didn't give a shit about anybody. or how bad you felt. You were her job. And all she did was she worked the night shift, and she came in. I told you this before. You could hear her coming down. She was a gigantic woman. 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, didn't matter. And she would, boom, throw your door open. Bam, on go the lights. And she would drag this cart and smash it into the wall a few times as she drug it into you. Grab your arm, throw the cuff on, jam a thermometer in your mouth. She was a truly horrible woman, but that was the only one. All the other nurses and physical therapists and doctors, and I think they call them CNAs, Certified Nursing Assistants, the people that did everything but, you know, giving you pain meds and stuff like that. And I had nothing but good people who cared. You could tell they cared. They cared about their patients. And I was happy with my care. And this time, I had this situation reversed. And same amount of pain, same level of pain, and same thing. Morphine did nothing for the pain, nothing. So I just quit asking for it. And, you know, why get hooked on morphine if it's not doing nothing for your pain? So I stopped asking for it. And same thing. My nurses were fantastic. They did everything they could to help me get well. And I will remember their names. There was Nicole, Michelle, Kiki, Katina. They did a good job. And they were in the line of work that God intended for them because they had the exact right personality and demeanor for that job. And they were busy. And, you know, people kept them up and asking for stuff. And I tried to ask for as little as possible. But I think on my 5th day after surgery, they let me out because I healed up so quick. And I suspect that they wanted to get me out of there because the hospital was filling up with COVID patients. And they were trying to get me out of there before I caught it, which, too late. Me and Charlie had it. And we're still trying to get over it. What it feels like now is a cold. You know, you feel a little bit icky, a little bit sluggish, a little bit, you know, got a little snot, and just not 100%. But, you know, you can mostly function, which is the way I feel now. I can feel like there's not much I can't do. Now, I did say that I liked Beyonce's new country song, but don't watch the video. It will make you puke. The level of debauchery that music videos have sunk to is just shocking, to be honest. You know, she's just damn near naked in the video. This is on regular TV, you know. And anybody has access to. It's just truly, truly shocking that it's not good enough to have a catchy song. Now you got to prance around with, you know, 2 Band-Aids and a cork, basically. What I'm doing here is trying to sand the grind lines out of the stainless pins. That takes a little bit of doing because they are stainless. The brass ones don't take near as much effort. Almost. not quite. Boy. Alright, that pin's done. Now I gotta do this pin. Well, I pick up my motorcycle on Saturday. I know there's people that are thinking I'm crazy for getting rid of a bike and then getting another bike. But the bike I got is an older bike, and it does not have a hydraulic clutch. It has the old cable clutch. That was my whole problem with that bike. Number one, the payment was higher than when I bought it. Now I could afford it. And then my YouTube income took a nosedive, and then it was a real battle to make that payment every month. And on top of that, the clutch got harder and harder for me to squeeze. So I got rid of it. And then when I went through this surgery, and realized that I probably was going to live a little longer. You know, before I went in the hospital, I left a long list of passwords and where I had money stashed and who to call to sell my guns. I even contacted the guy beforehand, before I went in the hospital, and asked him if he would be willing to buy my guns from my wife if she were to call him. And he said he would. So it turns out I lived, and then the last day or two in the hospital, I knew I was going to live and probably have at least a few more years in this body. So I asked myself, what do I like doing, you know? What brings me joy and pleasure? And that's two things: knife making, working with my hands, and riding with a Patriot Guard. So I decided I'm going to get another bike. And I sold a bunch of guns. I sold all my silver. Then I found one with, I say low miles, it's 20,000 miles on this bike, which for a bike that's a 2011 is low miles. So I bought an older bike with 20,000 miles on it, and I didn't pay a lot for it. And I'm actually, David is going to ride it home for me. I'm still a few weeks away from being able to ride it without endangering my hernia here. You know, he never did fix my hernia. They reconnected me, and that surgery took so long that they just sewed my hernia back up and pulled the skin over it and all that. And he told me I had to be very, very careful. And I couldn't lift anything heavy. So that would, you know, mean the bike. It's a beautiful bike. It's black and purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. Matter of fact, my favorite truck I ever owned was a Kenworth, and it was purple. Got a lot of compliments on that truck, and mostly because it was purple. I think there's a lot of people that like purple. Okay, you know what? Now I got to take my angle grinder with a 220 grit drum on it and get the top and bottom of the spine here. So now I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. I think that's the way right there. We'll see. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. All right, now I'm gonna take all this tape off. I'm gonna go in and give this the whole thing a final buff. The wood, the pins, and then the metal a final buff. So I'll be back in about 20 minutes, maybe 30. Okay. Okay, that's it for me today. I'm going back home. And tomorrow, I'm gonna make a little sheath for this. I'm not gonna, it's not gonna be a big monstrosity. It's gonna be something that it will catch this end and then come down and maybe up with a little snap that goes across it, something like that. Okay, so today's Thursday, so you'll see this Friday. So have a good Friday, y'all.